Hello, Saints. So today I want to share with you about the grace of God. So we know the grace of God is undeserved favor, unmerited favor, that God has given us, not that we have done anything to deserve it. It's what God, in His love and in His mercy has given unto us unmerited favor, undeserved favor, unearned favor. But I also want to share with you the other side of grace that most of the times as believers, we normally do not. Or maybe are not always consciously aware of this other side of grace. And I want to share that with you. And I'm also going to share with you a testimony in my life of how I have personally experienced the grace of God. It's not only limited to this, but I hope that these experiences that I'll share with you are some of the areas that I've experienced the grace of God. And I hope you will be encouraged. And I hope you will revive your hope and trust in the Lord. So, grace is not just the undeserving, unmerited power of God, but it is also the enabling power of God. So, grace is the power of God that is able to enable you, hallelujah, is the power that is provided to believers to allow us to be able to live the righteous life. Remember, we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, and righteousness is a gift. It's not because of anything that we have done, but in order for us to live out that righteousness, we have the grace of God that enables us to be able to live out that righteous life that we have received. And also to fulfill your calling, it gives believers strength and ability to do what they could not do on their own through their own power alone. So the enabling power is able to give you the strength and the ability to be able to do things that you would normally have not been able to do on your own. And so it is the divine assistance that empowers a believer to live a godly life, not just live a godly life, but to be able for you to fulfill and to do what you are supposed to do. So let me share with you my testimony. So last year, 2024, guys, was hectic year for me. There were extreme sides of the good, and there were also extreme sides of the bad, all of this happening at the very same time. So last year, I lost three of my family members, very close, dear to me. I lost my niece, my sister's daughter. I lost my mom 3 months later, and I lost my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. 3 months later. So, as a family, this was really a hard and a difficult time for us. Having mom going into hospital, coming out, and we actually thought she was recovering before we knew it. She slept. She went to be with the Lord. So it was really a difficult time. Apart from that, I was on attachment, and so I was working an 8 to 4 job. I was supposed to write mathematics, O level maths, yes, because I did not have O level maths, and the program that I'm enrolled in requires mathematics O level. So I had to write my O level maths, and I had actually registered to be writing in October. Not just that, at some point between last year, I didn't have a helper at home, so that meant I had to come back from work. I had to go for my O-level maths lessons. I also had to make sure that the kids are catered for. That family at home is catered for. Not only that, I was also assigned to be one of the speakers at the our international conference. And you know how it is. You really also need to get into the word, to dig into the word, even though you always read the word. But when you know that you are going to be speaking to a lot of people, you need to be well prepared. And this was something that was actually required of me to do. So you can see, there's so many things that were happening at the same time, things that required my commitment, 100% commitment, things that required my attention. And at the same time, the things that I was going through that could have caused or that could have affected me not to be able to perform my tasks very well. Not just that, remember, I also had other commitments. Like I am a mom, I am a wife, I am me. I also required time for me. And all this, is supposed to be done with alongside the other obligations that I was supposed to do. So can you imagine how hectic it was? How was I going to be able to handle all these roles, jumping from one role to the other and having to juggle everything all together at the same time? It was really not an easy thing to do. But I want to thank God for His grace. Yes, His enabling power. We said it is that power that enables us, beyond our abilities to do the things that we could normally not have done without His help. I'm very happy to say I was able to preach at the conference, and I want to thank God. Normally when you are speaking, you want to be well prepared. But to be very honest, I did prepare, but not to the extent that I usually do when I'm preparing for a sermon. But I want to thank God that it was just the grace of God. That's how God was also teaching me and letting me know that it's not about me. It's not about me. Sometimes you feel good that I have prepared for this. I went all out in making sure that I prepared for this. But I do not want to lie, my brothers and sisters. Yes, I did prepare, but not to the extent that I normally do when I'm preparing for a teaching or for to deliver a presentation. But in this event, God showed up. God showed up. His grace was really sufficient for me. His enabling power worked in my life. I experienced the grace of God. I was able to deliver. Remember, I just lost my mom in July and the conference was in August. So you can imagine I was still in a place of grief. I still am. But at that particular place, you are hurting, and yet I was able, by the grace of God, to actually go and deliver. And then coming back from the conference, I had to submit my reports for the attachment in September because I was completing the attachment in September. I needed to have a file of my reports. I needed to prepare for the last interview with the person who was coming to assess me, my lecturer. And you know what? It happened successfully. By the end of September, I had updated my reports. I had finished what I had supposed to do. I submitted my reports. I was interviewed. I was assessed. And guess what? I passed the assessment. Yes, I did. Something that I was not also quite really expecting because of the space that I was in that particular time. Yes, the joy of the Lord was my strength. I was not at a place where I became so down. That's another power, that's the power of the grace of God. All this that I went through could have put me in a place maybe of depression or in a place of anxiety, but I want to thank God because of His grace. Because of His grace, it did not disturb me. I still had the peace of God that makes no sense even in the midst of everything that was happening. So I was assessed for my attachment, and I passed quite well in my attachment as well. This was September, and then now I had to prepare for the mathematics exams in October. It was just around 2 weeks. I think we were writing around the 14th or the 15th of October. And so you see, I had so many things to prepare for. So I kind of had to do it in batches because I couldn't do everything at the same time. I only had 2 weeks to really prepare for these exams. Should I say I really did prepare enough as I thought I would have? I would be lying if I said so. I did what I thought I could within the space that I thought I could have done. I did what I thought I could have done. And to me, I was expecting to just say, if I could just get a C, that's good enough. If I can just pass and get the C, that's all I need right now. At least I know I'm done with the requirement that is needed in order for me to graduate. And so I wrote the mathematics exam, and lo and behold, guess what? When the results came, I had an A, guys. I had an A. Again, I saw the grace of God at work. I know with my own ability, I'm not a maths person. I'm more of an arts person. I'm more inclined to languages and to arts than I am to maths. I'm not a numbers person. But the grace of God enabled me to be able to understand the concepts. Like I said, I had not even prepared well enough as well. But I want to thank God. God shows up, guys. God shows up. And I experienced His grace. I experienced, His ability in my life. I was able to pass and get an A in mathematics. Not just that, I had started writing a book round about June, when we started doing a study on the book of Ephesians. I felt impressed in my heart to write a book. So I had started writing a book, but throughout the year, it's a project that I had just set aside because, like I said, I was doing things in batches and I had to make sure that everything had to be done. And so soon after my mathematics exams, I had to start working on the book. So I sat and I started writing the book. I wanted to complete it because I have so many unfinished projects that I was working on, especially in terms of writing. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to focus on this one book and I'm going to complete it and I'm going to finish it. And by the end of December, guys, I had finished writing the book. As we speak, it has been published. I'm waiting for the launch that is going to be happening in March. I'm so excited because I'm now officially an author. Again, something that could only have been done by the grace of God. There is no way, no, absolutely no way I could have accomplished all this apart from the grace of God. Apart from the grace of God. Guys, there are so many other testimonies that I'm going to be sharing with you where I personally have experienced the grace of God. But I just wanted to encourage someone. I don't know whatever space that you are in right now. I don't know what you have to do. I don't know the assignments that are before you. I don't know the projects that are before you, whether you are in school, whether you are in business, whether you are at work and you don't feel qualified for whatever it is that you are doing. I want you to know that the grace of God is made available for you and to you to be able to give you the ability and the strength to do what you could not have been normally able to do on your own. Whatever space you are in, I want to encourage you, my brothers and sisters. And the good thing about the grace of God is you excel. You excel everything. Finally, when you realize this has not been my strength, probably if I had prepared enough, I could have come out with a C in maths. But I actually saw that, this exceeded my capability. This exceeded my ability. This is just the grace of God. When the grace of God, you allow and you receive the grace of God and you experience it, there's always excellence in it. You remember how Paul says, I labored more. I labored more, yet not I, but the grace. So there's a certain also ability for you to be able to do much more when you are doing it by the grace of God, and you are able to do it in such an excellent and magnificent way that by the time you're done, you yourself will be surprised at what you would have done and what you would have accomplished. So these are some of the experiences that I went through that I just wanted to share with you in some areas that I experienced the grace of God. But do not limit it to just that. We said it is the empowerment that you are given to live a righteous life that you have received. So whichever area that you are struggling in, if you are struggling and still walking in sin in some way, I want you to know that the grace of God is available to empower you, to enable you, to give you the ability to do what you are supposed to do. You are now the righteousness of God and you are inclined to do what is right. If you are struggling to do it, I want you to be able to yield and to submit yourself to the grace of God. Whatever it is, whatever area, are you struggling to walk in your purpose? If you are, I want you to know that the grace of God is available for you. You can be able to do and to achieve what God requires of you to, not by your own strength, not by your own effort, but when you receive the grace. You know how the book of Hebrews chapter 4:16 tells us that we can boldly approach the throne of grace and mercy and receive grace in our time of need. So whatever time of need that you are in right now, brothers and sisters, I want you to receive the grace of God. I want you to know that it is the enabling power of God made available for you, the believer, to ensure that you are able to do what you are supposed to do. Things that you would not normally have been able to do in your own strength, in your own power, in your own effort, you are able to do that and much more because of the grace of God. So I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you've been inspired. And I hope this is going to speak into your lives and put you in a place where you are able to receive and experience the grace of God. Be blessed.